Many people still think intelligence is something you can see right away on paper. A high score, an impressive degree, someone who speaks quickly, reacts quickly, and can answer difficult questions. But that is only the surface. Real intelligence usually does not show itself off too much. It does not try to impress. It does not need to walk into a room and prove anything. It reveals itself in the way a person stays silent at the right moment, refuses the right things, steps back at the right time, and avoids doing the things that keep most people stuck for life. In other words, truly intelligent people are not different from the crowd because of how many things they can do. They are different because they clearly know what they should not do. According to research mentioned in the Journal of Intelligence and Cognitive Psychology, people with high intelligence often show very consistent behavioral patterns. What matters is that these patterns are not communication tricks or social skills practiced to win people over. They appear naturally from the way such people process information, weigh consequences, and recognize their own limits. So if you want to recognize someone who is truly intelligent, do not just look at what they know. Look carefully at the things they firmly refuse to do, even though the people around them do those things every day. The first thing, they do not pretend to know what they do not know. This sounds very simple, but it is surprisingly rare. Most people are afraid of saying, "I don't know," because they think it makes them look smaller. So they speak vaguely, change the subject, or add extra details to avoid embarrassment. But intelligent people are different. They can calmly say, "I'm not clear on this yet. I need to check further. I don't want to give the wrong answer." That is not a lack of confidence. It is actually a very deep kind of confidence, because they do not need to protect the image of knowing everything. They see a gap in knowledge as a place to learn more, not something to hide. If you like content like this, remember to subscribe to the channel and watch the next videos, because the deeper you go, the more you will see that real intelligence is often quieter than we imagine. Researchers call this intellectual humility. The more deeply a person understands, the more clearly they realize how much they still do not know. That is exactly why they do not make strong claims about things they have not verified. They do not speak just to save face. They value being accurate more than being seen as smart. And this is a very clear line between looking intelligent and actually being intelligent. A person may speak fluently, energetically, and very convincingly, yet still be wrong. Meanwhile, someone who is truly intelligent may begin with a very short sentence, "I'm not sure yet." The second thing, they do not turn every conversation into a battle that must be won. People who feel insecure inside often struggle to let a different opinion pass. Their ego gets hurt very quickly. They want to correct every sentence, argue against every point, and prove that they are right no matter what. But intelligent people rarely waste energy that way. They understand that some discussions help both sides expand their perspective, but others are nothing more than ego contests. One side has no intention of listening. The other side has no intention of learning anything new. The result is that no one moves forward, and only exhaustion grows. That is why intelligent people are very careful about who they talk to, how far they should go, and when they should stop. They do not see winning an argument as a real victory. What is interesting is that they also avoid another trap, mistaking shallow familiarity for deep understanding. This era makes the feeling of, "I already know this," come very quickly. All it takes is watching one video, reading one summary article, or scrolling through a few lines on social media, and people easily fall into the illusion that they understand the whole issue. But intelligent people are very cautious about this. They clearly understand the difference between being exposed to something and mastering it. They do not watch one video about physics and then think they are ready to debate someone doing actual research. They do not read one article about psychology and then confidently diagnose everyone around them. Psychologists call this epistemic humility, a humility before the limits of one's own knowledge. If you are still listening at this point, comment number 8. If you have also realized this, the more you learn, the more you see how many things you only thought you understood before. The third thing, they do not make major decisions based on temporary emotions. Intelligent people are not cold. In fact, many of them feel very deeply. They may feel sadness deeply, anger intensely, and disappointment for a long time. But the difference is that they do not let those peak emotions make decisions for them. When they are extremely angry, they do not rush to send harsh messages. When they are overly excited, they do not immediately say yes to a major choice. When they are exhausted, they do not draw permanent conclusions about life from a temporary phase. Neuroscientists call this emotional regulation, the ability to regulate emotions. It does not mean denying emotions, but creating a pause between what you feel and what you are about to do. That pause is exactly where intelligence appears. The fourth thing, they do not surround themselves only with people who always agree with them. Very few people can do this because everyone likes the feeling of being validated. Everyone feels more comfortable around people who nod along with them. But comfort does not always help us grow. Intelligent people understand that if everyone around them keeps telling them they are right, their minds will gradually become lazy. They need people who respect them enough to challenge them, who are clear-minded enough to point out weaknesses in their reasoning, and who are deep enough to bring different perspectives. Psychologist Carol Dweck calls the foundation of this a growth mindset. When you no longer see intelligence as something fixed that must be protected, you become less afraid of being wrong. And when you are less afraid of being wrong, you begin learning much faster. The fifth thing is also the one most people overlook. They do not confuse being busy with being effective. We are living in an environment where the busier someone is, the more valuable they seem. A packed schedule, endless messages, working until complete exhaustion, constant rushing. But intelligent people see through that surface. They know a person can run all day and still get nowhere. They understand that 80 hours spent doing the wrong thing can still lose to 20 hours spent doing the right thing. That is why they do not just ask, "How much can I get done?" They first ask, "Is this truly worth doing?" Management thinker Peter Drucker made a very clear distinction. Efficiency is doing things right, while effectiveness is doing the right things. Most people only care about moving faster. Intelligent people care about choosing better. Because of that, they often seem less busy than others. They leave space to think. They make time to look beyond one day, 1 week, or one passing emotion. They understand that rest is not laziness. Reflection is not procrastination. Empty space is not waste. Many of the best ideas only appear when the mind is not packed full of meaningless tasks. So many people keep moving non-stop and then comfort themselves by believing they are making progress. But movement is not always progress. Sometimes it is only a busy way of avoiding what truly matters. When you put all of these things together, a very clear pattern appears. Truly intelligent people do not try to look superior. They simply try to remain more accurate, more clear-headed, and deeper. They dare to say they do not know yet. They do not argue to feed their ego. They do not believe that a little understanding is enough. They do not let emotions drive major decisions. They intentionally stay close to people who force them to think again. And they do not let their lives be swallowed by meaningless busyness. If by this point you realize that you are still stuck in one of these patterns, comment number 9. That is not a sign that you are unintelligent. On the contrary, recognizing it may be the very beginning of a deeper kind of growth. Real intelligence is not loud. It does not need a stage. It shows itself in the way a person holds boundaries, chooses conversations worth having, accepts that they do not yet understand enough, and stops at the right moment before being pulled away by emotion or useless busyness. If this video touched you, thank you for staying until the end. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone else who may need to hear this. Maybe just one timely conversation is enough to help someone see themselves more clearly starting today.